Dadgum. Oh yeah, y'all, it is time to do some springtime bass fishing. I'm excited. And today's video is sponsored by our friends at Mystery Tackle Box. The Mystery Tackle Box is a juicy little package packed full of lures and delivered to your doorstep every month. Subscribing to Mystery Tackle Box is one of the best ways that you can learn new techniques, stock up on all of your tackle, and discover new brands and products. The tackle is a mystery every month, but you can be sure that the lures inside are corresponding to the best fishing patterns going on for that time of year. That's why it's a great way for anglers of all experience levels to try out new baits and discover new techniques to catch fish. Mystery Tackle Box makes the perfect gift for any angler. I've had my dad signed up for over 5 years and he's still using the lures that he gets in his box every month. Get signed up this month and use my code LFG at checkout and you'll save $10 on your first box. Just click the link in the description. Happy unboxing, fishing freaks. Now let's get to fishing. All right, so to set this up for you guys, I'm over at Lake Fork here. I've been doing some crappie fishing and I've been planning on doing some bass fishing after these cold fronts that have come in, and we are entering into those warming days. Full moon is almost here. It's like it's happening right now. The water's 62 to 65 up in the shallow water, and that means bass are going to be moving up shallow. And one of the fish I just caught right there, a fresh fish. You can see the white belly. It's come from deep water, and those fish are going to be moving up, and they're typically more active on feeding 2 or 3 days before the full moon, and when the full moon hits, they really start spawning, and it's important to look on the banks and look for bed fish. And I already saw about a 6-7 pounder on a bed. This morning I saw another fish about 3 or 4 pounds with another 4 pounder that was paired up yesterday, and it looks like these fish are starting to move up, but they're not quite locked on the beds yet. So we're going to start off doing some shallow water bass fishing, throwing spinnerbaits, throwing crankbaits, throwing plastics, just up in shallow water where these fish are starting to move in. There's a big one on the stump. Oh my God. Okay. We can probably start it off right here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That was a textbook spinnerbait shallow spring bass right there. Right on a daggum stump. Ooh. Bigger one I saw with it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That was perky. Got me perked. There's another one right there. Could have been a crappie. Hold down. Square at it. Yep, there he is. Got him. Bass. Wham. I knew I felt one hit that thing. Switched up to a square bill. Got him. Ooh, I like bass fishing. God, that was fun. Oh God. Yep. Ooh, there that one was. Right on the point. God, I thought you were gonna be Miss Piggy. Well, you tagged it. Just a little male coming down on the point. Third bass of the day. 2 on a square, 1 on a spinner. There he is. Got him. Oh my gosh, it's a crappie. Well, where the heck were you when I was filming the last video, dude? What in the world? I got my videos mixed up, guys. Going to the pan. Just had a bass follow it to the boat. I was looking down to like hit the record button on my GoPro, and I looked up and there was one sitting right behind it, chasing it up. It's probably about a 2.5 pounder, nothing crazy. I'm just going down these banks and I'm looking for anything, any sort of change. So if there's any sort of color change up on the bank indicating, you know, a piece of brush or grass clump or something in the water, I'm going to throw to that. And I'm looking at the live scope to see if there's any trees, just kind of scanning. And then just looking for little tree tops with my eyes too. Any little piece of cover that's going to hold these fish, because I'm not in I'm on Lake Fork, but I'm not in a creek that has a ton of trees up in the shallows. It's mostly just kind of sandy. There's no hydrilla or anything, it's just kind of moss. Okay, so we're getting one of our first looks at a bass that's moving up on a bed, but I don't know if it's fully ready to go, but it is in a sandy spot. It's doing circles. I can't really show you guys through the lens because it's not polarized or anything, but looks like a decent bass. Could be 4 or 5 pounds. So if you're throwing out a bass on a bed and it just takes off and doesn't come back at all, that means that fish really isn't settled on that bed. It's not super defensive of it, so just keep going. But if you throw in there and that fish kind of swims off but then comes back, that means that fish wants to be there. And you just have to judge their attitude by how they're reacting to different baits. I like to start off with a weightless plastic bait first and just see what they do, because it doesn't make a splash and it doesn't put out a lot of vibrations or anything. And if they just let that go by, don't do anything, but they stay there, then I'll start using Texas rigs and things like that. But sometimes they eat the soft plastic right away. The weightless one, that's what we're going to start off with. We're really close, so I'm just going to stay in the crouched position here. It's coming back in, but it did a wide circle and it went under the boat, which is not good. Don't want to see that. Don't want to see him go under the boat. It's going to come back, but it's not really digging what's going on here. It's not pissed off. I'm going to throw to this bed ahead of me. I just saw one, like a cruiser, come over it. Like, oh gosh. Oh, I spooked that one. There he is again. Doesn't like it. He's nose down on it right now. Don't think he's gonna eat it though. He's gonna kind of look. All right, this is not a big one, but we'll just see. Oh goodness. You know, I've been looking for the last hour for sight fish, and I've seen some, but they've all been pretty skittish. I'm probably just going to take a break from this, or I don't need to sight fish right now. I need to wait until they really get locked on. What beds look like is it's a sandy spot. The fish literally take their tail and their anal fin, and they just push out sand and they push out debris and stuff, and they make a little nest, and then they stay in there. And I can see these little grass holes in this, what's called gator grass. I can see bass. Look at this bass coming through the weeds right here. That is wild. Those weeds are moving. That's a bass moving through there. Or maybe it's a gar. But there is a bass in that hole right there. There's a bass in that hole. There's a bass in that hole. There was about a 5 or 6 pounder in the hole right behind my motor, but super skittish. Just can't get it to go. So another thing I'm seeing is a lot of gar. A lot of gar paired up. They're spawning as well. I mean, it is full-blown spawning season. A little bit of steak for lunch. Let their fish do the thing, get locked in, fish the evening, catch some more. Making life a lot easier, guys. Golden Crispies. Oh my gosh. I've got crappie, I've got catfish waiting over there, but I'm gonna use these steaks while I got them. Oh yeah. Wow, it is getting absurdly windy right now too. I'm glad I came in, taking a break. Jeez, holy cow. Unfortunately, I have no plates. I just got this thing, and I mean, I'm gonna use it off the board that I usually fillet my fish on. You know, gotta make do. Fantastic. It might be a miracle if I get back on the water, but I'm gonna wait for this wind to die down. This is such perfect timing. I gotta fight the urge to take a nap. All right, y'all, time to get back in the game. Simple as that. Didn't even have to put the trolling motor down. I think I'm gonna fish where I've been camping. These lights that are up under the dock, I mean, we're seeing 5, 6, 7 pounders swimming around in that light, so yeah, they can't go far, right? There's a bass, midday spinnerbait bass. Oh, right up under the dock. You got a full belly just like me, buddy, but you're not big. Oh, you know, this is the only time of year where I throw spinnerbait, just midday, even if it's not windy. There's something about, they just get on shad. And the way this thing imitates shad is so good. That thump. What's fun about fishing a spinnerbait this time of year too is you almost see the bites a lot of times. You get that blade flashing and you'll bring it by some sort of shallow cover and it's like they are just barely out of your sight when they hit it. All right, 3/4 ounce spinnerbait, Magnum Sockeye. Slowly building a big sack of those. Man, that's not what's supposed to happen. This morning I'd do that on a stump and it'd be a bass. That thing knocked the absolute snot ball out of it too. Hopefully we see some just doing the nasty up there, but if they're not, we're gonna have to go to explore. I've only fished 2 creeks since I've been here, so kind of anxious to go check out some other areas. But the Elite Series guys are out here, and pretty much anywhere they're fishing, you can expect fish to die. They've been vacuumed up. All right, y'all, I've made me a run across the lake. This is a place where I used to catch a lot of bass in April back when the lake had grass. Really sad it doesn't have it anymore. I got a fish that's on a bed. I don't know if he's gonna stay, but we're gonna try. We're gonna give it a whirl here. I'm gonna go ahead and just get out some Texas rig stuff. All right, buddy. Let's get fired up and do it. Fired up and do that thing. Get it, little boy.
do it.
Yeah, come here. Oh man, I just needed to catch you. 2.5 pounder, not it. I just had to do it. I had to get him. I was pot committed. You know, you work on these fish and it becomes personal. Sometimes they fool you. You think that they're gonna eat. And I thought for sure when I pulled up, just the way that fish was positioned, it was gonna eat pretty soon, and it took me a good 20 minutes to catch that one. So way too much time to spend on a 2.5 pounder on Lake Fork, but I just had to do it. Just had to do it for my soul. I'm just not on the juicy ones that want to bite. I mean, could be tomorrow. They might come up tomorrow. I might have to worm it. It's one thing I have not done, is just gotten out of Texas rig and just kind of, it's the last thing I'm going to do in a place where I know in April some of the biggest bass in the world live right here in this part of the creek arm. That's pretty crazy to say, but it's pretty truthful. There's really more 10 pounders that come out of here than anywhere else. Let's give it one final go, fishing freaks. Mid-depth worming. This is like what you should do when it's slow. I just kind of had a stubborn head today, thinking I was going to sight fish when they weren't quite pulled up where I was at. So I got a Lunker Log Texas rig. Oh man. Anywhere out here, I'm kind of on a flat, it's about 6 foot. Anywhere out here, there's trees. This is just a really good place to pitch this Texas rig around, drag it around these trees. And these females will often set up on the base of these trees when we're getting ready to move up and spawn, especially with there not being any grass in this lake. This is like their only cover. There's one. Picked it up off the bottom. Oh my gosh, and he's small. Yeah, that's the one you want. Let me just drag real slow out here, and dude, you're smaller than those bedfish. What are you doing? Could not resist the tastiness of a slow worm drag. I need you to tell your big sister, Marlene, to get with the program. All right, guys, sun going down. About to actually take the boat out of the water because I think I might have bent my prop shaft. I hope I just bent one of the prop blades, but I was getting up on pad right at the end there, right after I saw the eagles, it's a beautiful end of the day. And then I go to get up on pad and boom! Hit a stump. Lake Fork, it happens. But if I bent my prop shaft, that could do some damage. There's a lot of, not a lot of, but I can feel the vibration in it. So I'm gonna pull the boat out of the water. I hope this doesn't mean I have to get the boat repaired before I can come back. Hopefully I can just limp, but I don't know. We're gonna see how bad it is. Okay guys, moment of truth right here. Okay, this is what you do. Boat's out of the water. This is what you do. You're gonna line your eyesight up with the middle of this pin right here, and you're gonna spin that and look for irregularities, and I do see a wobble. I don't know if you guys can see that on the screen, but that means that the prop shaft is bent and not the blade, and that is not good. Dadgum. That means, y'all, the silver bullet is out of commish now. You do not want to run your boat with that prop shaft bent like that, because it can break the seal. The vibrations can break the seal, and when you break your seal, water can get in and you get bad stuff going on, and you don't want to ruin the Merc, man. What a mega bummer, y'all. Full moon, Lake Fork, April, bass are coming up on beds. Ah, man, and I also had some buddies I was wanting to come out here with me and fish this week, so I'm probably gonna have to take the boat back to Fun and Sun, in all honesty, and get them to work on it, though. Maybe they can just replace the prop shaft. Hopefully there's no lower unit damage, but man, it's Lake Fork. This definitely happens out here. Would not be my first. I've been on another prop shaft before. I actually ruined my lower unit because I was in a tournament and I was running and it was a bad wobble, so you just shouldn't do that. That's how it goes sometimes. But still a fantastic day in the outdoors, getting to spend the day next to Lake Fork, and luckily I can say that this is not my first spring fishing out here. I'm glad I can say I've spent a good probably 5 springs fishing almost every day in March and April out here, and getting to see some just really, really nice fish. Obviously stay tuned. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm probably going to have to go back and regroup. Worst case scenario, I could bring the kayak back out here, but that's not really good for sight fishing and all that. But hey, I'm still getting on the water and getting to fish. So thank you guys for tuning in. Be safe on the water out there. I don't want to lose any fishing freaks. So love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one.